Have you ever watched someone bully a helpless coworker and felt the rage ignite behind your ribs? Because that night, in a dimly lit restaurant corner, I watched an arrogant trainer rip apart a man twice my age. A man who was already trembling through his first night alone. And when she demanded special treatment, oh, she got it. Just not the kind she was expecting. If you've ever wanted to see karma slam someone right in the face, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories like this. And get ready. Because what happened that night still echoes in my ears. Almost a decade later, back in 2015, I was working my way through nursing school. And to pay the bills, I waited tables at a little restaurant that prided itself on one thing: no ads, no promos, just good service and good food. In a place like that, reputation is oxygen, and everyone knows it. I had been there long enough to be the reliable one. The one managers trusted. The one new servers clung to like a life raft. That's how I met him. The new guy. He was older, maybe in his late 40s. Quiet. Nervous. Polite to a fault. He told me he'd just gotten out of a rough patch. And honestly, I didn't need details. I could see it in his eyes. Life had already done enough talking. This was his first night with his own section. And he was terrified of messing up. I was wiping down a counter when he hurried over to me, clutching his notepad like it was a flotation device. They're asking for something that's not on the menu? He said. They told me the other location makes it. But I don't think we do. His voice shook. And instantly, I knew the type. Young, entitled, loud. A group that walks into a restaurant thinking every server is their personal servant. I sighed. Okay, don't worry. Ask the kitchen if they can do it. If not, I'll talk to them. He nodded and scurried off. Turns out the kitchen didn't mind. It was basically a wrap. No big deal. But that tiny act of kindness, it cracked open a door I wish had stayed shut. From that moment on, their leader, a smug woman in her 20s with a sharp tongue and sharper attitude, started treating him like he was a malfunctioning robot she regretted buying. Every time he brought something, she demanded something new. Not asked, demanded. With a flick of her wrist. Or a cold, impatient stare. I watched him from my section. His hands shaking, his smile forced, his shoulders slowly curling inward like he wished he could disappear. It burned. You know that slow rising anger that crawls up your spine? That was me, watching him unravel. And meanwhile, I had to keep working, slipping into his section whenever I saw him drowning. I straightened chairs. I grabbed refills. I checked on his other tables so he wouldn't fall behind. But the group never softened. Not once. If anything, they leaned into it. Near the end of the night, when most customers were already gone, he approached me again. This time, he looked broken. They're asking how to use multiple employee discounts, he said. I blinked. Employee discounts? Yes. The woman, she says she works at our other location, says she's a trainer. My stomach dropped. Oh, no. That explained everything. Her entitlement. Her cruelty. Her smug certainty the world would bend for her. This wasn't just a rude customer. This was someone who knew exactly how restaurants work. And abused it anyway. And she was humiliating him, knowing he couldn't fight back. I clenched my jaw so hard, my teeth hurt. Then he added, voice cracking. She also says there are multiple birthdays at the table. And she wants free cakes. And the birthday song. there it was. The final straw. The match to the gasoline. My anger didn't explode. It calcified. Sharp, precise, icy. I put a hand on his arm and said, "Don't bring anything out yet. I'll handle it." Then I walked straight to the front manager, one of the best, most fair people I've ever worked under. I gave him the full rundown. Her fake trainer claims, her non-stop demands, her discount scam attempt, her cruelty toward a man just trying to survive his first night. And my manager? He didn't just get angry. His face went cold. And quietly, he said the magic words. "Do what you're planning to do. You have my permission." Then, he grabbed the employee numbers they'd written down and headed to the office to make a very important phone call. I didn't know it then, but he was dialing her general manager. I turned and sprinted to the back. "Everyone, I need bodies, now." Cooks, bussers, servers, dishwashers. Anyone not actively carrying food, I grabbed them. I gave the fastest briefing of my life. That table has been tormenting the new guy all night. The woman claims she's a trainer at another location. She wants birthday cakes, and she wants the birthday song. A grin spread across faces. Not a nice grin, a vengeful one. We weren't going to skip her request. Oh no. We were going to fulfill it so aggressively, it would echo in her skull. We marched out like an army, 20 workers strong. Even the dishwasher still wearing a soaked apron. Each cake was placed with a flourish, almost ceremonious. And the trainer leaned back with this smug little smile, the kind you want to slap off a face. She thought she'd won. Then I nodded. And all hell broke loose. We belted out that birthday song, screamed it actually, with every ounce of energy our tired, aching bodies had left. Our restaurant had this long, theatrical version of the birthday song. Extra verses, hand claps, pauses, build-ups. It was designed to be fun. But when screamed by 20 people in a corner booth, it was a sonic assault. The sound bounced across the walls, reverberating, until even I felt it rattle in my ribs. Their smiles disappeared instantly. They flinched, covered their ears, scooted their chairs back like we were blowing out their eardrums, and I had never felt so satisfied. The new guy stood beside me, eyes wide, hopeful, like someone had finally thrown him a lifeline. And I whispered to him, "Hang on, it gets better." When the last note finally died, the woman pushed out of her seat and stormed toward the front desk. I followed, because of course I did. My manager was waiting for her, phone in hand. His expression was unreadable. "Your manager wants to speak with you," he said. I will never forget the moment her face changed. First confusion, then worry, then pure dread. She lifted the phone to her ear. "Hello? Wait. No, let me explain." Pause. Her face drained of color, then blotched red, then crumpled. No, please, it wasn't like that." Another pause. And then her voice broke. She started crying. Right there, in front of the host stand, in front of every employee she thought she could bully by association. Her GM had already been told everything. Her employee number had already been revoked. Her trainer status gone. And my manager just stood there, calm, silent, letting the consequences settle. When she hung up, she mumbled something like, "This isn't fair," and practically ran out of the building. The rest of her table followed, silent and stunned. The new guy stood there, speechless. Then he whispered, "Thank you." And honestly, that was enough. Sometimes revenge isn't about cruelty. It's about balance, justice, correcting the scales when someone thinks they're too important to follow human decency. I won't lie. There's a small, dark part of me that still relishes the memory of her panicked face. But the part I cherish is the moment a new guy finally stood a little straighter. Shoulders lifted, breath steady, hope restored. He didn't quit. Not that night. And I like to think that maybe, just maybe, that ridiculous, deafening birthday song helped keep him going. She demanded employee perks she didn't deserve. She demanded special treatment no server should have to give. She demanded respect she refused to offer. And in the end, she got exactly what she asked for, just wrapped in a package loud enough to shake her bones. A deafening birthday song, no discounts, a GM-level scolding, and a firing she absolutely deserved. I still smile when I think about it. Some people think power gives them permission to be cruel. But what they forget is this: karma doesn't whisper. Sometimes it sings. If this story made your blood boil, but left you satisfied in the end, hit that like button. Drop a comment about the worst customer you've ever seen and what you wish you could have done in that moment. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories just like this. Because trust me, I've got plenty.